hand in the exact same situation as when we got his far foot. When we're getting a far foot, if the knee is on the floor, which in this case it is, and it will be if you get that far ahead, or probably will be if you get that far ahead of somebody, bring the foot underneath his hip. So when I've shelved this leg, it's a good idea when we transition, we get the knee and we get the crook of the ankle, bring this foot to the center. That really puts a lot of his base in jeopardy, and it puts a lot of weight into that hand. And then he has zero base towards his hip, which means that when I press him down, he falls quite easily, okay? And then we start building our base, near side underhook if he faces me, or he has to get that obstacle and I take the back if he turns away and swims over my head. So first approach to our head and hip is just a successful single leg. We were able to go down, up, build the base, cut the corner, everything went perfectly. We shelved the leg, we finished, and we ended up in exceptional position. If we get the leg shelved, it is very highly possible that someone who has a pretty good defensive skill set or a lot of experience in here, they may get to the feet. But the benefit of having the leg shelved onto what would be my left hip in this situation, it just gives us a single leg where the leg is up in front. We can just go right for the trip. But it's worthy of I wanted to make sure that you guys out there knew this, and so you weren't caught by surprise if somebody stands up. What do we do? So when you get the single and you've got the leg shelved, you've cut the corner, it's pretty likely that you may get someone that stands up. If I didn't drive hard enough, they may come to the feet. And if they do, we still have the leg in exceptional position. So then we can just hook the far leg and we put it down. We've got that leg drag or open guard scenario. So it is likely that if I don't drive hard enough and offset his hip, and he's able to drive into me, that he may come back up to his feet. It's okay, just bring the leg up to the front, hit your trip out of the far leg, and you're ready to go. With the far leg trip, there's so many different ways to do it. You can just sweep the leg with an instep, if you don't mind. You can sweep that with the leg with your instep. I prefer to try to use my Achilles on the high calf just to make sure he can't jump out of it. I feel like it's a little bit of a stronger pull. So again, you pull the calf out. Make sure that when you guys are doing this finish of the single, you need him hopping. I need Nick to hop because I don't want to try to pull his leg out when he's grounded on the ground. I want his leg to be hopping in the air. So then when it's airborne and I pull the leg out, it makes it so he just falls down. We swept his leg out from underneath him. How do we make him hop? Is that you shovel this leg to the chest and that leg will hop. So then it's just a matter of timing. It's a matter of timing as a shovel, an elevated lift with my left elbow and my hip, and then we just bring the leg out when it's in the air. And then there's nothing underneath him. So we've hooked that leg, brought it out from the air, and we can finish that single. So yeah, we have to expect that, anticipate that maybe he gets up. It's okay, you got the leg on a really good side. And there are many ways to finish when the leg is up there. This is just a gentle way to finish, and it's a high percentage way to finish. So you can finish other ways, but this one seems to be quite nice. And I just wanted to touch on it. It's noteworthy so that you have that option. Okay, now sometimes when we get up, build up to a single, he's still on the knees relatively. We still beat him, so he's still on his knees. But he gets a drive. He gets a very strong overhook, and I can't get my knee quite around the corner, and I'm struggling to think about getting my knee and moving his foot. So we can use this cross hand. So we're gonna move off to this angle so you can see the foot. We got to this position where we're here, and I got my elbow in, but I'm struggling to finish that movement around the corner. So what we're gonna do is we'll cup the knee with our right hand. So my inside hand is gonna cuff the knee, and then my left hand is gonna reach underneath and grab where his toes are. And I wanna bring his toes to my body and to my chest. And then once we're here, we can now shelf the leg. Okay, so we'll rotate around the front side. Once you get the foot in front of you, it's not a difficult thing to bring it to the far hip, because that's the hardest thing is to get behind that leg. So we'll just use, we've nearly cut the corner, we're just not quite there, so we're gonna cup the knee with our right hand. That inside hand cups that knee. My left hand, we need to still stay driving. My left hand is gonna go pick up the toes, and we wanna grab right at the crook of the foot, the arch of the foot, because I really wanna get where on his big toe. Because if we can turn the foot a bit side on, it becomes really weak. It turns that knee and his hip, and it becomes much easier to pull the foot into position. If I try to attack his ankle at where the foot meets the ankle, it's still pretty strong there. But when we get to the end of the lever, right at the foot, where the arch of the foot starts, we're able to get those toes and turn them and pin them to our chest. It becomes quite strong. So again, we get around here the corner, we're able to go get the toes at the beginning of the arch, and it lets me pull his foot into the chest. And now if we need, we can put the knee down, we can re-shelf the leg, collect everything, and bring the foot in. Now, an interesting thing just happened. Nick posted his hand. This will absolutely happen from time to time, where you put enough pressure on the hip or on the knee joint and the hand post. If the hand post, we don't need to go get this foot so much. I can immediately start climbing around his hip, and we can start looking to achieve the back of the turtle position. When we circle around the corner, we should still be driving, and we should still look to keep our head in this area, so that if Nick turns to face me as I put him down, my head stays up the middle. I really like the head up the middle, unless he chooses to stay on the turtle position. So my head, I'm still driving. If he stays strong on the turtle, when we drive, we just come around the back. He stays on the turtle position, and now we start chopping everything down, and we take his back. If I get to that scenario where I've shelved this leg, and there goes his hands, and I take my hand around the hip, and I start walking, as long as my head stays in this position, if Nick tries to turn and face me, and go ahead and sit to your side and regard me, yep, look, the head stays up the middle, and everything stays as we've talked about before. There's no putting me back in guard. There's no scrambling. The head stays up the middle. We stay strong with our pin, and we're good to go. If we stay hard on the turtle, we just take the back bend. You can bring your head up and then start cracking them down with near side underhooks, or chopping down the arm, back, head, and arms. Your choice method of breaking down the turtle position, whatever you choose. All right, let's look at a very valuable drill that you can do to get your hands ready for when a sprawl happens. If you got behind, or hey, you got in and you've got that hand over hand, and you're driving, cut the corner, and bang, you got a very good defensive opponent, then it's completely possible that they sprawl. It's quintessential to your single that you are not married to the idea that you must hold the leg and finish the single right from the get-go. That's why, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you get your hands locked, because if we respond well, if I get very good at this drill and I respond well to catching the high shin and having my shoulder at the hip and my head to the far side, we still have a lot of opportunity to not only finish a single, to lift him, but to go back to half guard, to go back to guard. We still have all this opportunity that is lively, versus if we are married to the leg that I have to have this leg, and then he sprawls and I wait too long, boom. When he sprawls, the leg is going to be free, and you'll have nothing but to sit back to the guard. So